Alright, disclaimer before we get into it for the qorvex one. Qorvex scales with enemy density, so if enemies are not condensed together, qorvex does not scale well. Qorvex also relies on radiation priming. If there is no radiation priming, qorvex does not scale well. So, if you're fighting something like a boss, or if you're doing something that does not have high enemy density, qorvex will not perform well. If you're doing a mission with high enemy density, or with grouping, then qorvex will perform well. Qorvex also does not care about attenuation. He could easily kill 20x Miss Babu before the attenuation removal of them in Noko Update. However, he only could do it because he scales with enemy density. If it wasn't for enemy density, he would not scale well. Now we're talking about that, and we've got that out of the way, let's get into the build. qorvex also does not care about power strength. Power strength does literally nothing to qorvex. It does not contribute to him at any way in the build. It doesn't do anything for his 4. You could run 300% power strength, and you can run 100% power strength. The results will be the same in damage. And there is a video from Tribios that covers that exact thing. So now that I've covered that and I've gotten that out of the way, let's get into the example of how strong qorvex actually is with barely a full build. Like you see here, he will do stupid damage to 20x Babu. But that is because qorvex relies on enemy density. If it wasn't for density, he would not scale well. That is the unfortunate thing about qorvex. He relies on density for his damage. Alrighty. Now just to show it, I'll spawn in a Exoghost officer. There's 20 of them. I'll hit them with the beam and without. So this is without the 4. Decent damage. Right? Didn't kill them all like crazy. Now. Oh fuck. I forgot about how much he nukes frame rate in here. Okay. Let's pull everything together, okay? So, I'm gonna respawn everything. Now, let's pull everything together, like so. Jade Eyes, and then do my death beam. You'll notice everything dies a lot quicker. Like, yeah, everyone over here is dead, and everyone over here. You notice I was directly hitting that guy, even with Jade Eyes in. It took a long time for him to die. That is because qorvex does not really do well on enemies that aren't condensed together. I mentioned earlier. He relies on enemy density to work because of how his 4 works. Like, if we hover over his 4, you'll see release a beam from qorvex, Crucible Core. Each enemy struck suffers radiation status with a guaranteed status effect. Affected radiation status effects explode in chain reaction. This chain reaction requires enemies to be close together in order for qorvex to effectively use his abilities properly. He struggles with anything that isn't density, unfortunately. Whatever on my other one. Oh yeah, Streamline. That was it. He also doesn't have a built-in survivability qorvex. Like, some people argue, oh, his gray bar. Yeah, but that's about it. And you need the augment in order to effectively use that gray bar. Even though he has a high armor value and a high health value, he does not have anything to multiply that high armor and health value. He doesn't have a DR ability at all. He does have status immunity, but status immunity only gets you so far, and without damage reduction, the status immunity isn't that helpful, because the whole point of status immunity is reduce the status effects you take, so that way your damage reduction is multiplied even more. But he doesn't have damage reduction, so yeah. There's the issue. that we fall into with Qorvex. He is a really good frame in things he specializes in. But when he can't use his strength to his advantage, oh, he does not have a good time. He's also, honestly, my least favorite frame to use in the sim when testing stuff, because he fucking nukes your frame rate. Like, you notice there, I'm constantly freezing every time I'm in here. A lot of my older videos have that, where you'll see my character move slow and my frame rate's all choppy and everything. That is because I didn't know that he did that, and I would go to record and he'd nuke my frame rate. But now that I know that he's the responsible one for frame rate drops, I don't use him when it comes to recording videos. Like, here. Just, disclaimer, this video is going to be very choppy as shit because of him. It's just been a thing since he came out in Whispers in the Walls. Like, he's just going to be very choppy with my frame rate. He's also very slow, while in his 4. So it is best to use a mod to give you more movement speed, like Mobilize. Because he doesn't do well at movement. Yeah, see, they're surviving my beam now that they're moving. However, if I brought my upper Qorvex out, my ensnare one, they would die because, again, enemy density. The only thing that multiplies his damage is density, viral priming of course, but these guys are immune to it. Armor strip, I'm gonna have to reset the sim after this video. This is an absolute pain to deal with. And of course, the radiation ability damage shards. Roar 2, of course, would multiply his damage, because that's what Roar does. Roar is a universal faction damage modifier and ability damage modifier. Okay, this is getting fucking annoying. But yeah. Where would I put Qorvex? Even though I'm an anti-tier list person, and that's the whole point of these videos, is to counteract the videos that are all fucking tier lists, because literally every frame in the game is strong with the proper gear, and can do every content in the game. I mean, there is a guy known as Nash Prime, who soloed the fragmented boss, the pre-nerf fragmented boss, with Qorvex, way before his augments were even a thing. I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all. He is not a favorite of mine. He is strong. He is effective. But he has so many caveats into what makes him actually do the job he's trying to do that I don't really would like him as much as most people. And I know there's going to be a lot of Qorvex stands that are going to get mad about that, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He doesn't do well. Unless it's high density. Like, you need a Nautilus to group. You need so much just to get him going to do what other frames can do. It's just like, yeah. Also, Jade Shadow's kind of nerfed radiation, because radiation used to have the same mechanic as the Harmony's heavy attack. And also had to use, which was also the same mechanic that Dante's passive has. Yeah. It condenses all stats damage into a single instance, so dot damage is great. Old radiation, Dystopia has a video on it. What it would do is, if an enemy was immune to radiation, it would prioritize the highest damaging dot on your weapon, and convert all radiation ticks into that dot, and then multiply it by your already high strong dot. So, it would do some stupid damage. Radiation. And that's why I used to run radiation on my on-call, because radiation on my on-call would murder anything that was radiation resistant or immune. And then anything that was vulnerable to radiation, like the Murmur, would just get deleted because bonus damage is bonus damage. But due to radiation getting nerfed, I don't run radiation on my explosive weapons anymore. And I don't run radiation on my on-call anymore. I run magnetic progen. Which is unfortunate. I feel like if DE kept radiation, like old radiation the way it is, qorvex would be a lot better. I also feel like if they did something to his passive, it would have been better. Because what's funny about qorvex had an odd history. Before he got released, he actually was really strong in dev test. Like, really, really good. And then they nerfed the shit out of him before he dropped. Which I don't know why. They were afraid of him being too overpowered, but yet they released Dante. And Dante on release was ungodly broken. And then they nerfed the shit out of Dante. Which, even with the nerfs, Dante is a stupid strong frame and easily a top tier frame. Like, easily. I'm not a tier list person, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Dante is a thumbs up frame. Like, he is a great fucking frame. However, qorvex on the other hand here, he had a passive which synergized with his fourth ability, and then DE decided to not release him with that passive, which is kind of backwards ass, in my opinion. But maybe in the near future, qorvex will get some love. We'll see. But at the time being, yeah, he's not a favorite of mine. He's a meme frame. He's funny. He works in hordes, but that's about it. And there you go. There's the qorvex video. Alright, now to go do the other frames.